All right, what's going on, guys? So you just purchased your new drop point mount from Sub2nd, and now we need to assemble it. So this is a quick down and dirty video on how to properly get it on the belt, and then how to also set up a QLS. So the first thing you guys are gonna receive in is the bag here. So we're gonna pop this guy open. We're gonna have Loctite in there, and the drop with the leg strap. And this guy's already attached and Loctited, so you guys shouldn't have to touch this at all. If you guys aren't using a leg strap, you guys can just unscrew that, and then I would save that hardware. The first thing we need to do is pull the screws out of the forks. They are two different lengths, so you have the longer screws on the top, and then the bottom set of screws are going to be the shorter ones. And then I'm going to apply a little bit of Loctite on each one of the screws, and then the set time for the Loctite is approximately 24 hours. All right, so the next thing you're gonna wanna do is pick out the spot where you need this drop to actually be mounted. So I know I need one MOLLE row from the end, so I'm gonna put both my tabs here, and then we're gonna wanna get these tabs inserted. So if you're using an operator series, it has to go over the top of the elastic because you need to get to the tab. That fully seated. The second one, same thing. Get that all the way down. The next thing we're going to want to do, because this is not flat, this doesn't bolt flat, it keeps the curve of your waist, and there's a 5-degree cant on these tabs. So we're going to want to pre-bend this in that direction, make it a lot easier when mounting this guy, and then also help prevent accidental cross threading when we're putting these screws in. Next thing I'm going to do is slide this guy over, and it should bite right over the MOLLE like that, and that helps prevent any wiggle from occurring during any movement. It keeps a really solid package, and then it prevents this drop from being able to be pulled off the belt. You would essentially have to lose both MOLLE rows, and those would both have to do clean breaks. That would be a pretty bad day for somebody. So we're gonna flip it over. The first ones I like to catch are going to be the bottom screws. These are the shorter ones. Slide those in. Everything should go in pretty easy. Shouldn't have to fight with these. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna put this tight, too tight, just kind of, just snug. I'm gonna flip it back over here. I'm gonna snug up the top section now. So now this is where I'm gonna come back through, and I'm actually gonna put some oomph into it. All right, cool. So now it's mounted to the belt, pretty straightforward. That curve actually keeps the curvature of the belt, you know, just helping eliminate any hot spots that could form, and then maximizing that Velcro contact on there. Again, the leg strap here, this is already Loctited and set, so you guys are good to go. This is ready to use. All right, so now we're gonna go into how to properly mount the QLS to the drop. If you guys are running just a standard Safariland holster, you can just bolt that on like any other mid-drop or any of their other products the same way. The QLS is the same as well, except when you want to go a little bit lower on the drop. Some of the holsters, like a Staccato, for instance, I know a lot of those Staccato holsters, those ALSs, they ride a lot higher. That bolt pattern puts the gun a little bit higher, and then actually sits above the waistline. So what we do with that, so generally speaking, you use these two left and right holes, and then this bottom center. If you do have one of those holsters, or you just want the drop or the gun to ride a little bit lower on this drop, you're going to want to pick up this mid hole, and that middle hole will end up going into this bottom section. So it depends on your setup here. Typically you could run it like that, but some of those guys that want it a little bit lower, you can then drop this down, pick up that bottom slot there, and you can actually get a couple more degrees of cant out of it, and then it just gets it about an inch lower. So we'll get this guy mounted. The other important thing when mounting this stuff is you want to make sure that you're always checking anything with bolts. Honestly, with your tactical equipment, you're going to want to kind of make a normal routine at checking to make sure nothing's coming loose. All right, so once I caught all the hardware, then that's when I'll kind of pick my angle. I already know what it is based on my normal setup here. And then I'm gonna end up tightening these up pretty good. All right guys, so the DPM is fully assembled. We got all the hardware mounted, it's all Loctited, and we double checked everything, so it is ready to rock. The QLS and any of the Safariland stuff is gonna come with a ton of extra hardware, and when we were designing this, we wanted to make it really easy. If something happened to one of these screws or you lost it, it's the same bolt pattern. It's an 832 fastener, and you'll be able to take any of these Safariland screws and use them in the drop point. If you guys have any questions or comments on this, definitely feel free to hit us up. This is a new product, and we've been working on this for a very long time. We've had a ton of people help us out, give us input, help us with design work, prototypes. So thank you to everybody involved, and we're excited to see what we can do with this. Thanks.